What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing another video. Today I'm bringing you a video on episode 14 of the Power Rangers Super Dino Charge. One thing to note, obviously, got a new tripod, so that's why the camera is finally fixed. I'm not like on a slant with the pictures in the background, which is great. So anyway, episode 14 is entitled Silver Secret. It was a really cool episode. It's an episode that a lot of people have been waiting for, and it's really good to finally see happen. And it's the first step towards like the real exciting thing, which we'll get to. I'll explain exactly what that is by the end of the episode. So the episode starts off with the what do you call it? The Rangers are. What happens is that Shelby wants to be part of this group called the NZ group or something like that, where there's this guy that like she has a crush on, likes or whatever. But at the same time, you know, obviously she likes Tyler, but like she's really attracted to this guy and she wants to be part of this group or whatever. And so she's practicing to sing with them and dance and all that. Thing is that she does all that, and Tyler's jealous of this group and this guy because she's obviously attracted. Thing is that Chase knows this person, and Kendall's the one that allowed them to hold auditions at the Dino Cafe, and so like she's all excited and she wants to be a part of it. She wants to do all this stuff. What happens is that eventually Shelby actually by accident pushes like some weird substance onto the guy that she has a crush on or whatever, because like they just walk into each other by chance. Then at that point like they end up saying, "Oh yeah, Shelby, you should definitely try to do this or whatever," and the guy's like, "Yeah, I would love to hear you." And so then Tyler's jealous and wants to impress her and wants to do something like it. So what happens is that we end up seeing all this happening. You end up seeing then that there's a distress call from Miss Morgan where she says that the Silver Ranger is around. And the thing is, they're like, "Wait, the Silver Ranger is on Earth?" And they're all freaked out. So then what happens is that suddenly they go to where the Silver Ranger is, which is like in some forest or whatever. They see him as the Silver Ranger, and he's hurt and everything, and he says, I got like these 9 down charges, just like, why not 10? And he says he stole all our technology or all that, and Tyler's like confused because it's like, are you sure you are who you say you are? And the thing is that they actually have the 10th Dino Charger from like I think it was the previous episode, and so the thing is like, you're lying. They end up showing that Dino Charger, and he's busted basically. So then at that point they end up fighting. He ends up using some attacks or whatever, and then eventually he becomes Doomwing, which is who he was revealed to be. So then what happens is that suddenly they're like, "You're evil, you're not right." And so then suddenly what happens is when they're fighting, Doomwing suddenly changes again, but this time he changes into Zeon Wing, which is supposed to be who the Silver Ranger is, of course. We see him. Many people who weren't aware of this already and are Super Sentai fans will be very excited to know, obviously, that Zeon Wing is supposed to be Torin, basically. So that is exciting as ever. It was great to know that that Torin in some form is showing up, because he was such a cool character, and it's great to see that he is showing up. And I'm glad that they decided to match it with the Sentai. Obviously, he doesn't have the same exact role in the sense that in the Sentai he was the main mentor. Well, in this case, he's kind of like, oh, he's joining now. You know, it's not the same, but it's still cool, and it's great to know that he still has some purpose here. So that's exciting, and I kind of expected it due to the fact that like I don't really know how they would be able to refilm the battles of Doomwing really that well. So it's good that they actually kept it, because now since they kept it, it can work a lot better, because otherwise they'd have to refilm so much stuff. So it makes sense. Anyway, what ends up happening is that they're like, "Who are you?" or whatever, and the thing is, it's like, "No, I am a friend." The thing is that Doomwing is the one that's controlling me, and the thing is, it's 2 bodies, so it's basically like Heckle and Snide, more or less. So, perfectly fine idea. What ends up happening is that they have to deal with Doomwing, obviously, and they want to separate the two of them, but Doomwing ends up returning back or whatever, and the thing is, that he starts attacking and all that. And suddenly what happens is that Tyler and Doomwing end up fighting. Suddenly Doomwing puts a listening bug on Tyler's Dinocom, and Tyler pretty quickly notices that something's wrong with his Dinocom. So he knows that something is fishy, and he's not just gonna, let it continue or whatever, just like that. So at that point he then goes and puts it in a fish tank, and then tells them that like, I think Doomwing put a bug on it so that he can listen to us for our plans and all that. So he puts it there, and they have no idea what's going on, since basically it's enclosed in a fish tank. So then at that point, what happens is that they end up figuring out the plans and all that, and they end up creating this device which they hope to be able to separate the two bodies from each other so that Doomwing and Xianwing can be separated. Now, the thing that I forgot to say also is the fact that Xianwing can't transform due to the fact that Doomwing has the silver energem inside of his sword, so he can't transform because it's stuck inside there. So Xianwing has no power over it. So the thing is that anyway, they're trying to figure this out. They end up discovering that with a certain device that they have that involves like 4 little pillars, it's able to separate the like a plant and a rock that were engrossed on top of each other or whatever. And so then what happens is you then see Shelby trying to practice singing, which she's not great at, and Miss Morgan has 3 years of experience of learning music or whatever, and she helps her sing and all that. And then Tyler is practicing with Chase, and the thing is that he has stage fright, so that's not the best thing. And so when Chase says like, oh, there's a crowd, so Tyler, you have to sing or whatever, it's like, don't say crowd. He basically says, because I have stage fright. And so they're very understanding of each other, and it's like, you know, he's trying to do something for Shelby, obviously. So then what happens is that this is all going on, and eventually they end up Shelby ends up auditioning. She does great. Tyler ends up trying to audition. He sucks. So then what happens is that Shelby's like, Tyler, you know you have stage fright. And so then what happens is that she joins in with him and says, oh, it's all right. It's just better if we have a duet. She asks, like, is that all right? And they say, sure. And what happens is that she ends up going over to Tyler and says, just imagine them all as pineapples. Pineapples. Okay. Now, obviously, in most cases, it's usually just imagine them in their underwear. But the thing is that he can't even imagine people, so it's like pineapples. Sounds bizarre, but at least it's better than the typical underwear thing. I don't know if that's better or worse, but it's fine. The point is that they end up singing together or singing together. I'm sure it's lip syncing. I'm sure there's a voiceover on top of their voices. Same idea with Shelby. I don't expect her to be someone that was able to sing as well as she did in that. So they end up doing all that, and basically what happens is that afterwards they end up speaking to each other, and like Tyler explains that, like, you know, you have all these feelings for this guy or whatever, and I just don't want to lose you or whatever. And so the thing is that, and I feel like you have a crush on him. And so then what happens is that she ends up saying all these examples of how, like, he was able to figure out that Xianwing was being controlled. He was able to figure out the downcome. He was able to figure out all these different situations or whatever. And basically the idea is that with all this in mind, it basically, she's like, you're my rock star, and it was this really sweet thing. And so then what happens is that they go to deal with Doomwing, and what happens is that when it comes to Doomwing, they end up communicating through the downcom and saying, I'm at this location in this forest or whatever. And so then suddenly Doomwing shows up, Tyler ends up fighting him, and eventually he wears him down to the point that he begins to transform into Xianwing, because he ends up starting off as Doomwing, turning into the Silver Ranger, then turns back into Doomwing, and then begins to transform into Xianwing. And in that process, Miss Morgan uses the device to separate the two bodies. At that point, they're separated. Miss Morgan keeps an eye on Xianwing, and then suddenly they use the Magna Beams to boost Doomwing up to a giant size. Suddenly they summon the Ultra Zord, and they manage to beat up Doomwing. Thing is that they do not manage to get the Silver Energem, so Doomwing still has it. And then what happens is that back at the monster base, they end up finding out that, like, basically Lord Arcanian basically is like, you know, before when you could transform, you were useful. Now you're useless. I don't really care about you. And, you know, Poisandra and Curie are laughing because, like, when he tries to go like unleash the power, it doesn't work at all. So they just crack up laughing, and it's like, oh, you're weak, you're nothing, or whatever. And so then he's pretty pissed. He's pretty annoyed. So then what happens is that back at the Down Cafe, they end up announcing who won the competition to be the next singer or whatever. There's this girl that ends up winning, and also Shelby ends up winning. But the thing is that she says, nah, I'm not gonna do this because I already, and then she like whispers to Tyler, because I already have a rock star here. And so it's a sweet ending. It's good to, and also they have a conversation with Xianwing and Keeper, which is nice, and basically it's a good ending overall. It's going to be interesting to see how the future episodes happen. Obviously, most likely in the next episode or so, we should see Xeon Wing finally getting his silver energy back and them working as a team. And hopefully we'll very soon get the episode where we get to see all 10 Rangers in one episode, which will be very exciting to finally see Xeon Wing with them. Overall, I'm liking this show a lot more. I'm liking the show now with Xeon Wing. I think that this episode and last episode were really good, and I can't wait to see how the episodes continue. I'd love to know your opinions in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy this episode? Are you happy that we got to see Xeon Wing and that it's supposed to be Turin, basically? You happy about that? Or do you think that it would have been better if we got a different character, like maybe Keeper or someone else? You tell me in the comments. I personally think that it makes a lot of sense due to Doomwing that they did that. That's the only reason why I think it makes sense, because refilming those battles against Doomwing would be very hard, so I think it's very smart. So please leave your comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, obviously, and Twitter. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, guys, I'm Crazy Samurai 71, and goodbye, guys.